So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Denny Santos. I am the Director of Compliance and Operations. I work out of the Office of Student Affairs. I'm also the chair of the Commencement Committee. So, what does that mean? From the start to the end, about your graduation experience, I'm working alongside or working with the different departments that put this together, and there's a whole committee of individuals that are working behind the scenes, from buildings and grounds to academics, um, to all parts of the different departments. So, and I'm going to be talking about your graduation day, your 2025 graduation day, and the ceremonies. All right. So, it's really important to note that one of the biggest differences is that we will not be having graduation day all in one place at one time. It is for the first time, um, our students are split into two. The master's and doctoral students at the graduate students ceremony, and that's on Tuesday, May 27th at 6 p.m. And then the undergraduate student ceremony, that's on Thursday, May 29th. So if you're receiving a master's degree or a doctoral degree, your ceremony will be on Tuesday. If you're getting a bachelor's degree, your ceremony is on Thursday. These ceremonies are not interchangeable. So if you miss Tuesday, it's not like you can go to the Thursday one, or if you want to, if you're unavailable on Thursday, that you can go to the Tuesday. Both these ceremonies are specifically for the students at the different levels, bachelor's and master's. So, first and foremost, I will go over one of those most recent things that you have gotten earlier this week. I sent an email focusing on Stage Pass. So, when you log into the Tassel system, the same system that you told me that you were going to RSVP and come for the event, the same system that you claimed your tickets, is the same system that you go in and see your stage pass. When you go into Tassel, you will see the stage pass right next to the little block that says update my details. But you do have to log in to Tassel. You have to view your ceremony, right? And you will only have one available. And then you will see your stage pass listed, and then you can view your stage pass. So on your stage pass, it will have some information about your specific ceremony. It will also have your lineup number. All the lineup number is when you get to where you're lining up within your department, it helps you find your place, right? So when you get there, you find the student that has the number higher than you and lower than you, and you get in between, right? It just helps kind of arrange you within your departments. So um, if you have your lineup number and you're in the same department, can you stand with your friend that may have a different lineup number? Yes, as long as you're um, within your department. I will note that there's a small set of you that graduated with 2 degrees, right? I will note that Tassel and Stage Pass only acknowledges one of those degrees. Right. Otherwise, we would have you in the system twice, and it doesn't allow for that. So, um, if your lineup number is not in the department and in the school that you want to line up with, that is fine. You can line up, you can choose whichever school that you want to process in. All right. So it really is not it's your choice whichever degree you want to be acknowledged for. But that's purpose and the use of the lineup number, and it's the only use of the lineup number. What does the stage pass look like? So this is what the stage pass looks like when you log in. It has some information about your specific one. This one concerns the graduate ceremony. All right. So stage passes are basically your digital stage cards. So last year we gave index cards to students so that they could identify themselves as they cross the stage. We are no longer doing that. This stage pass replaces that, but you definitely need the stage pass so we can scan you, and that will cue what will announce your name and will announce kind of the banner that it will be shown that notes your name, your department, your degree, and your school as you cross the stage. So we need that stage pass up on your phone or print it out or that card ready to go right before you cross the stage. Now, when scanning the phones, right, or when having these phones, consider what kind of phone you have. If your phone is cracked, right, or have a screen protector that's reflective, kind of blacked out, please, that can prevent the scanning. So I will highly encourage you to print out your stage pass, and the option is there, right? If you have a phone battery that dies, because we don't want your phone to die right before you cross the stage, please consider printing out your stage pass. Also, the stage pass can be downloaded to your photos gallery, and that is the best way to access it, right? Do not take a screenshot of the stage pass. If you're going to download it to your photo gallery so you can enhance, you can zoom. What's important, what we need to see, what we want to see is that QR code, right? So just keep that in mind. Cracked battery or cracked screen on your phone, if your phone does not have a good battery life, if you have a reflective screen protectors, that can all get in the way of scanning your stage pass as you get on stage, right? So what I showed you was, I believe, was the stage pass for the graduate ceremony. This is the stage pass for the undergraduate ceremony. There's some slight differences, but that really is intentional, right? Also, there are some graduates that will not have a stage pass. So for you, you do not have a stage pass is because either you applied for graduation late, you were just approved, um, something happened from after April 28th, you were not in the tassel system. That means you do not have a stage pass. There's about 40 of you that do not have a stage pass, right? What this means is that at some point, Tassel had to pull the information because we have a live person that was recording your name, right? To say, hey, someone has to record Denny Santos as they cross the stage. So we had to pull that information to have that recorded and prepared, to have the lower third banner prepared for the ceremony. If you apply for graduation after that date, if you're approved graduation after that date, if you do not have a grad pass, you or if you were approved for graduation after that date, you will not have a grad pass. If you not have a grad pass, you will pick up a index card. This is a blank index card. What this means is that as you cross the stage, it will say, the lower third will say, congratulations, graduate. but we do have a live announcer on the stage that will announce your name, right? Your name will still get announced. You'll still go through you'll still be recognized, but it has to be done manually by a live person. Now, mind you, out of the 3,000 students that participated in this process, there's about 40 of you that were approved after that date that will not have that grad pass or a state or will not have a stage pass. Previously, it was referred to as a grad pass. Grad pass, stage pass is the same thing, but it's a stage pass. Okay. Now, there's also a hyperlink on that grad pass. Um, that hyperlink is for island photography. Island photography will be at the ceremony. They're the same company that was on campus to take the graduation photos. They will be at the ceremony. They'll be taking a picture as you cross the stage when you shake the hand of the president or provost, and they will take an additional picture, a full length picture of your cap and gown once you leave the stage. So this is for you to provide them up to date details about where to send the proofs, right? You could also put emails from family and friends so that not only you will get proofs, but your family and friends will get proofs and kind of can review the proofs. This happens from 48 to 60 hours after the ceremony. You'll be contacted to get proofs and review the proofs so that you can purchase kind of packets of pictures, right? And remember the moment. So what does it look like? This is what it will look like. This is what you will do. There'll be a person scanning your grad pass. This has to be ready right before you cross the stage. So don't worry, there'll be someone, myself or staff members there that'll say, hey, get your stage pass out. Get your stage pass out. Get ready, right? Make sure your brightness is all the way up. Make sure it is visible. Make sure that if you printed it out, that you have it all unraveled. That means that you have your index card out, so that this could be as smooth as possible, right? When you get on stage. But that it would look like. No surprises. That's what it will seem, right? Okay, so let's talk about campus entrance, right? Students, you will not have to swipe to arrive on campus. You will not need a ticket to arrive on campus. What we do ask is that you wear your cap and gown. That is so that we can see you, right? And we can identify you as the graduate to be let into your campus, to be let into the campus. Your guests will need the tickets, but you can bypass the line, right? You will not be held in line. You being dressed up in your cap and gown, you will be let in to campus on that day. For the graduate, and I'm talking about the graduate ceremony, we'll ask you to enter through gate 8, and you'll go directly to the Performing Arts Center in the quad, because that's where you will line up. Right. So for graduate ceremony, all our gates for the event will open 4:30, right? And this is for guests, and this is for our graduates as well. We'll ask you to use those gates just because that'll be closest where you're going. Graduates can enter through gate 7. They can enter through gate 8, right? And we'll ask you to use Bedford Park Boulevard mostly. Guests could enter through gate 7 through gate 8. And what will happen is that guests will begin to line up right over here. And this is very similar to how if folks are seeing a concert at the Performing Arts Center before doors open, that's where people usually line up, right? We will have a table that will attend to your guests here, right? For graduates, there will be a table for you by the PAC. This is the walking bridge. This is where you will line up. So if there's any issues, if you need us to resend you your stage pass, we will do it there. If you lost your index card for the stage pass, we will do it there. There'll be staff there to help you and answer questions. But yes, for grads, we'll be lining up in the quad. Your guests will be placed right over here. For the undergraduates, right? For the undergraduate students, again, you will not have to swipe, right? But we will ask you to wear your cap and gowns, and that will help you go in to the campus. What I will say is, um, please, 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 for the graduates, you will enter through gate 7, because for the undergraduates, enter through gate 7 because you will be heading to the apex. All right. For the undergraduate ceremony, gates open at 7:30 a.m. Graduates will use gate 7 to enter. I will tell you, if you're coming by car, um, please use Bedford Park Boulevard. You can easily get stuck if you use Golden Avenue. And I would say, if you can, use mass transit, right? Um, all guests can enter gate 13, gate 8, gate 6, and gate 2, right? Um, for your guest, gate 13 and gate 2 are closest to the south field, where they'll have access. Well, they'll have the seating, right? I will tell you, for gate 6 and 9:15, gate 6 closes, and we'll be directing people to gate 2, because by that time we'll have our grads processing from the apex. All right. Undergrad. I kind of stated that. Um, please use Bedford Park Boulevard, just because there's more exits and entrances if you have a vehicle. Golden Avenue gets really backed up really quickly on that day. So we are turning to our graduate students, right? This is kind of the order in the quad where you'll be lining up. Um, Line 1, School of Continuing Professional Studies, School of Natural and Social Science, HS2N, Arts and Humanities. You will be line 1, right? School of Education and School of Business are line 2. So this line will be closer to the library. This will be on the quad closer to the music building. So you will be lined up, and we will have staff there to guide you. All right. So, graduate students, this is Tuesday, May 27th. Let's go over the timeline of what we will be doing. 4:30, gates open to guests and graduates. Graduates, when you go into the quad, you'll receive your graduation commencement booklet. You will also be receiving that 2025 pin that we give to all the graduates, right? Your guest will come in. They'll also be able to line up at the PAC close to 5 or right before 5 p.m. That's supposed to be p.m. Sorry. 5 p.m. The PAC will open, right? And guests will be able to go in. And one of the things I will note that this is general admissions, first come, first served for the guest, right? So in the order that they get in line, the seats that are available, that's when they will go in the Performing Arts Center. Now, for guests, for if we have more guests that arrive than we have seats, any guests that arrive late, we will have the Lovager Theater as an overflow room, right? Around 5:35, the students will begin to process in from the quad into the Performing Arts Center, and they will begin to be seated in their rows, in their aisles. By 5:55, the platform party, this is a cabinet, they will begin to be seated, and they'll come in from East Dining Room or Faculty Dining Room to Performing Arts Center. The hope, right, what we plan is that the provost begins his greetings to the ceremony by 6 p.m. Right? We have about 45 minutes of speeches planned. And we anticipate that graduates will begin to be called up to the stage by 6:45. Given the amount of students, we anticipate to be done around 8 p.m., 8:15, the latest, right? So that is your timeline for the graduate students. And I want to keep in mind that for the graduate students on Tuesday, there is a significantly less amount of students than our undergraduates. So we are talking the difference between about 600 for our graduate students, from 2,000 for our undergraduate students. All right. For our undergraduate students, so I'm shifting gears to our undergrad. This is Thursday. All right. Once you get onto campus, you will go into the Apex, right? In the Apex, you will either go to the main gym or to the auxiliary gym, and there'll be directions, there'll be staff there to guide you. But what you're going to be looking for are these signs, right? Each of the signs and each of the colors are for the different schools, right? School of Business, school in brown, School of Arts and Humanities in white, School of Natural and Social Science in yellow, Health Sciences, Human Services, and Nursing in like a pink salmon color, right? So you are looking for your signs of your school. All right. These are the schools that are going to be going, or the departments that are in the different schools that will be going into the different gyms in the Apex. And I say that in the Apex building, I really do not want you to go to the old gym, because the old gym is a different building. You're going to the Apex, that there's several gyms in there, right? So in the main gym, we have School of Business, which is made of the accounting department, finance, information system and economics, manage and business innovations. We are also, I believe, HS2N, exercise sciences and recreation, health equity administration technology, health promotion, nutritional sciences, social work, speech, language, hearing sciences, and nursing. and school individualized study programs. All that is the School of Continuing and Professional Studies, right? So that's going to the main gym. In the auxiliary gym, Africana Studies, Art, English, History, Journalism and Media Studies, Languages and Literatures, Latin America and Latino Studies, Music, Multimedia, Theater and Dance, Philosophy, Anthropology, Biological Sciences, Chemistry, Computer Sciences, Earth, Environmental, and Environment, Geospatial Sciences, Mathematics, Physics and Astronomy, Political Science, Psychology, and Sociology, right? Those are going to the auxiliary gym. Now, I didn't mention School of Education. Why? Because they're all master's degree students. They all participate on Tuesday. There should be nobody from the School of Education coming to campus on Thursday. So let's talk about the timeline, right? For Thursday, May 29th, right? So, gates open to guests and graduates around 7 a.m. Again, you're going to the Apex building. Students will receive their commencement booklet, their pin. South Field, and the campus will be open to guests. They will receive their commencement booklet. That happens at 7:30. Bookstore opens at 8 o'clock. There's several vendors on campus. So for the undergraduate ceremony, your vendors are going to be near the gazebo between Carmen Hall and the Campus Life building. So if your guests need some snacks, some water, juices, that's where they'll be. Now at 8:45, students will begin to process out of the Apex and come to the South Field, right? So 8:45 a.m. we start doing that process, right? My hope is by 9:10, 9:15 to have both lines by the Apex and by the not by one line by the library, between the library um, and the old gym building, another line by the bookstore and the old gym building, and at that time by 9:25, line 1 and line 2 will begin to process onto the South Field. And mind you, all you will be guided to campus, right? Or guided to your seats. Faculty will begin to process onto the field by 9:40, the platform party by 9:50. The goal that we're trying to hit is that everybody is by their seats for the provost to start the ceremony by 10 a.m. We will have about 45 minutes, 45, 50 minutes of speeches. And then we will have our graduates being called up shortly after that. All right. So at the ceremony, I want to talk a little bit about conduct, right? So commencement, it is a ceremony, it is formal, right? The hope is that we respect the academic customs of the ceremonies, not just for the graduates, but that guests as well, and those that are choosing to participate, their guests should respect the administration, the fellow students, and everybody that have come to witness you um, participating in the ceremony. So what I will note is that decorations to the gown and to the hood are prohibited. right? You can't place anything on that. Um, and I don't mean stoles or cords. That is fine, but actual decorations to the hood that you see or the gown, that's not prohibited. One of the things that um we want to keep in mind that um there is no slandering or messages that point out any individual groups, any individual administrator, any individual faculty, staff member, or other students on the cap and gown. Um, and then silly string beach ball, air horns, other items that distract from the ceremony are also prohibited. Here's what I want you to keep in mind, right? If there's any violations at um of the conduct at these graduation ceremonies, um you still can be brought up on disciplinary charges by our dean of students. And note that we do not release the degree until all disciplinary conduct is completely or is completely done, right? Um, and really what we are looking or really what we are looking for is to ensure that nobody intentionally obstructs or prevents others from participating in the ceremony or that are not interfering with the ceremony um, throughout this day. So, and also disorderly and indecent conduct, right? So, as long as we don't participate in that, then we will be all good. Now, can you decorate the cap? Yes, you can decorate the cap. Here are some examples. So for some previous graduation ceremony where individuals are decorating their cap, right? So really, if it's in the spirit of celebration, if it's in the spirit of celebrating your accomplishments, celebrating someone that may have helped you along the way, yes, you can decorate your cap. And that's completely fine. We love to see that. All right. Undergraduate ceremony, right? And this is focused on the undergrad. Um, There'll be individuals that provide you instructions. There's about 30 people that are going to be in the gym during this time, right? There's not going to be any pre-rehearsal or any pre-graduation rehearsal. I'm going through it now. The expectation is that you are able to follow directions um, on the morning of, because there will be, from the moment you get to the gates, there'll be directions of where for you to go and people for you to interact at all these spaces, right? Again, graduates will be grouped by your academic program. Um, and it's important that you are behind your banners, your gonfalons, right? Um, you will be proceed to the south field by your faculty marshals. Marshals will lead the line to the south field down the aisles. Marshals will then direct you to your seating row by row, right? After everyone is started, we'll kind of proceed with the ceremony. What does this look like? What does the field look like? Right? This is what it looks like. So there's about 2,400 seats in 8 different columns on, and this is the undergraduate ceremony. This is the undergraduate ceremony. Please note that the graduates or the undergraduates will be sitting underneath a tent, right? We ask you to pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to the weather. This week is in super rainy. Seems like we're getting better weather next week, but keep in mind this is in the south field. You're going to be on grass, you're going to be on dirt, right? So wear comfortable footwear, right? Wear comfortable footwear. Also, you're going to be under the gown. So Do you need to be super dressed up underneath the gown? Well, no one's going to see what's underneath the gown, at least during the time that the ceremony is happening, right? Consider a fanny pack or something that you can have with you, what you will need in the Apex building or on the South Field while the ceremony is going on, right? There will be bathrooms located for the graduates in the old gym building, which is located, if the graduates are sitting here, the stage is here, it's kind of up to the left, right? And there'll be individuals that'll be able to direct you there, right? By the time that you're here, you should make sure that you have your stage pass ready for you, right? You have your stage pass ready to go. I also want you to keep in mind, family members will not have access to this area, right? Um, our undergraduate students are separated from our family members, and there's no interaction before this. There's no interaction. Once students get into the Apex building, family members will not be let into the Apex building. Also, family members will not be allowed to go into the graduate seating area, right? So, what is this going to look like? You'll be in your departments, right? We have School of Continuing Professional Studies back here, Health Sciences, HS2N, School of Business, Arts and Humanities, Natural and Social Science. No School of Education, again, because they don't participate in the undergraduate ceremony. They only participate, there's only master's level individuals that are getting there that are part of the School of Education. All right, here's the order of who will go to the stage, right? First, we have School of Continuing Professional Studies, then HS2N number 2, School of Business number 3, Arts and Humanities number 4, and our largest school graduating this day, Natural and Social Sciences at the end. All right. In terms of how you will get onto the stage, you will have marshals that will direct you up and out of the tent. The on-ramp to the stage will be here, and then the off-ramp will be on the other side. As you cross the stage, you will be recessing down through the middle, marching out, and depending on what school that you are in, you'll be guided back to your seats or back into your aisles, whether it's here or back over here. So you will take a picture as you cross the stage right over here. They will be streaming or will be broadcasting. BronxNet will be broadcasting the ceremony and will get you as you cross the stage. And again, you will have island photography will be back here behind the tent, and you will take another picture back here after you cross the stage. Right? So this is for our undergraduate ceremony. This is the program, right? Our provost will be presiding over it. We have our community band that will be playing, NYPD ceremonial unit. We have a student who's graduating that is singing the national anthem. President Delgado welcoming you, giving the greetings. Board of Trustees Mayra Linares Garcia, right? And at that point, we give honorary degrees. Our honorary degree recipient this year is Christina Contreras. She is an alum of Lehman and is the CEO of NYC Health and Hospitals at Lincoln, right? Our graduate address will be provided by Felix Santos. And then this is the order, like I mentioned before. School of Continuing Professional Studies, Dean Kim Kendall will go up. Then HS2N, Dean Harrison. School of Business, Dean Hurley. Arts and Humanities, Dean Mann. And then Pamela Mills, natural and social science. We confer those degrees, and then the recessional after that. All right. So now we're switching gears to Tuesday for the graduate ceremony, right? So you get there at 4:30 p.m. Again, no pre-rehearsal, right? We're going over the instructions now. We noted you're heading to the quad. You'll be grouped by your department, by your program. Marshals will help you line up, and then will lead you into the Performing Arts Center. So let me remind you what this looks like outside. School of Professional Studies, Natural and Social Science, HS2N, Arts and Humanities, line 1. School of Education, because this is where you're all at, right? And then School of Business last, right? In line 2. You will be processing into the Performing Arts Center. We will be using this aisle over here. All right. If you're in the front of the line, School of Continuing Professional Studies, Natural and Social Science. Once you get down here, we'll fill you in this line, orchestra right first. So you'll be filling in here. I will note that we ask you to fill in as quickly as possible. I didn't mention this in the other one, but it holds true to both ceremonies. Fill in as quickly as possible. I know some of you want to sit next to your friends, and we will allow you. We'll just ask you to both of you go to the next aisle. But it's really important that we fill the aisle until the end, right? In the Performing Arts Center, it's going to be 10 to 15 seats, depending on what row that we're in. But you have to fill in, follow instructions. You cannot just sit in wherever you want to sit in. There's a rhyme, there's a reason. There's a ceremony flow, right? And we want to get out of there by 8 o'clock. So we'll ask you to please follow the instructions of the marshals when they ask you to sit down, right? We have about 15 minutes to get you guys seated. And we want to make sure that you guys get seated as quickly as possible. So please pay attention to your marshals. So this is a rough estimate. This is a rough estimate of where the different schools are going to be seated based on how many people are in the different schools and how many seats are available. School of Continued Professional Studies, Natural and Social Sciences, HS2N, Arts and Humanities, School of Education, which is our biggest school on Tuesday, and then School of Business at the end, right? So I want you to keep in mind, we will have marshals that are going to be there that will provide directions on when to stand up, where to go once you stand up, and where the stage is, right? Okay, for the graduate program, mostly the same, right, as the undergrad. There's a slight difference in terms of who is singing the national anthem, and then the who's giving the graduate address, a graduate student, Julia Rampersad, right? Um, this is how you will be called onto your stage, or the order: School of Continued Professional Studies, NSS, HS2N, Arts and Humanities, School of Education, School of Business. And then the similar, right? I am going to turn to, once everyone's seated, how it should look, right, in the undergraduate ceremony, right? So these are some pictures from previous undergraduate ceremonies. I believe this was from 2023, right? Graduates are here. Main stage, VIPs, faculty and staff, faculty here. These are graduates, right? These are family members. back here. We will have large LCD screens posted. You can kind of see them here for family members to see. Right. There's another angle. Right now, keep in mind this was previous. This was 2023 and before. The layout is going to be exactly the same. Last year we introduced a tent for the students. Why did we introduce a tent? We introduced a tent because 2024 was going to take a lot longer than 2023 and 2022 and all previous commencement events. Why? Because all of you are crossing the stage. As I mentioned, that was what the stage pass is for. All right. Here's what you're listening to. These are the magic words. Your dean will get up there and they will say, candidates of the School of Natural and Social Science, or candidates of the School of Arts and Humanities, candidates of the School of Education, please prepare to come up on the stage. When that occurs, and either you will see myself or my marshals, we will note for you to get up, right? And make your way towards the stage. Now, the dean will have additional embellishments, right? And they'll say a couple words. And this is really buying you time so you can get up to the stage area, whether that's in the Performing Arts Center or whether that it is on to the stage on Thursday. That stays the same. You're listening to the same magic words, no matter what ceremony you will be a part of. All right. Candidates of the School of ... Please prepare to come to the stage. You're getting up and you're making your way onto the stage with our help of our marshals. Right. When you get up, please ensure that you have your stage pass ready to go, that you have it pulled up on your phone, that you have your paper taken out, or you have your index card, right? If you do not have your stage pass, right? And these are for the 40 or so students that I mentioned before. If you do not have your stage pass, make sure your name is phonetically written out. And before you hand your card to our live speaker, that you say your name how you want it to be said so they can hear you and they could announce you on the stage. We want to make sure we get this right. All right. All right. After you come off the stage and be directed to your seat, um, and I want to emphasize this, right? We've gone to great lengths to our students to be honored to as they cross the stage to be announced. Um, Even though School of Continuing Professional Studies will be first in both ceremonies, um, it's important that all you as students stay for your fellow students so that you can see them get acknowledged as well, right? So this goes for NSS in the undergrad ceremony. This goes for School of Business in the graduate ceremony. Even though you're the last schools, will ask you to stay, right? Just general information for graduate. This is for Tuesday for guests, right? Um, Graduates, our ceremony is going to be in the Lehman Performing Arts Center, right? Will be allowed to come on campus from 4:30 or anytime after that. Use gates 7 and 8. All your guests must show the ticket. If um they don't show a ticket or it's a duplicate ticket, that second one, they may not be allowed in. um I will know if the Performing Arts Center fills up. So for example, if more people show up, which is a possibility, even though there shouldn't be, but there is, anybody if we don't have any more seats in the Performing Arts Center, they will be directed to the Lovinger Theater, which the event will also be broadcasted live, right? For the undergraduate ceremony, and this is for guests. Guests will be allowed to enter campus 7 a.m. and after. Gates 2, 6, 8, and 13. We would hope that it's either gate 2 or gate 13, just because that's going to be closest to the south field. They'll they must show their guest tickets, whether that's printed, whether that's on their phone digitally. Keep in mind that graduates will be under a tent, but guests will not be protected from the elements, right? So if it's a very sunny day, make sure your guests are aware of that. They have sun protection, hats. If it's breezy, make sure you have your jackets. Also, these seats are going to be on the south field on the grass. So make sure that they wear appropriate footwear, right? Tickets presented digitally on a phone or printed. I will tell you that if my mom was coming to this event, there is no way that she would want it to show it on the phone. I would have to print it out for you. So keep that in mind for your parents that may be older, that may not be used to that. Keep in mind who you're handing a ticket to, what is most comfortable for them, and how they're going to present it to the gates, right? Um, keep in mind for both events, we're going to call out names and they're going to cross the stage. So it will be longer, right? But we want to make sure we give all of you time to shine, right? For the undergraduate ceremony, if for whatever reason it gets too hot, your guests are saying, hey, this is too uncomfortable for me. I want to go to somewhere a little bit better. Because we're in the South Field, there's going to be viewing rooms in Carmen Hall. So these larger lecture halls, the ceremony will be broadcast in those larger lecture halls, BO4, BO8, 34, 36, 39. And then also, again, this in the Lovinger Theater, there's about 1,000 seats in air conditioned areas, right? So this is just in case, super hot, super sunny. We can't stand being outside. There's places for them to go after. The ceremony is going to be streaming live on BronxNet. So we'll be broadcasting it live on BronxNet. Right after, they're going to rebroadcast it, right? And then again, they're going to show the ceremony again at 8 p.m. that same night. Afterwards, if you don't catch all of that, we will get a copy, and then the graduation website that you will all have been visiting, it will be the ceremony will be shown there as well. Okay, this is for guests, still for guests. Um, must have a ticket to enter. I will say a lot. I've been hearing a lot about children. Um, kids, if they're sitting on someone's lap, they will not need a ticket, right? Again, if they're sitting someone's lap, they will not need a ticket. I don't care if that kid is like 6 months old, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. If they're sitting on someone's lap throughout the ceremony, they will not need a ticket. I don't know how much easier I can say that. Guests should be in their seats before the academic procession starts and are asked not to block the line of sight of the march or obstruct view of other audience members. What tends to happen is that you have several guests that kind of bunch up in that area that's right next to the tent. We'll have officers there asking them to move out of the way or go back into their seats. And they will not move until your guests go back into their seats. right? Each ticket is unique. There's a QR code down in the bottom and up in the corner. I know some of you have sent it out, or some of them have been printed out. Please make sure that you look at these numbers and that you're not inadvertently handing a duplicate ticket out to family members. I would hate to have to turn people away at the gates, but just make sure that there's unique numbers on these tickets so that they can scan and be let in. I mentioned this. Gates will open, right? Graduates will use gate 7, right? Um, Guest, gate 2, 13, 8, and 6. At 9:15, we will close gate 6 so that we can have the processional, right? Parking. Um, I will be sending you general information, um, specifically for guests. Um, our our student parking lot will be open on that day, right? On both Tuesday the 27th and also Thursday the 29th. I will tell you very upfront, there's just not going to be enough parking, right? It's going to be, you get here early, there's a parking space available, you're going to get it. When there's no more parking available, those gates will close. In this message, for guests, I will place 10 different alternatives. There's about 10 different parking garages that are near here, that you can use, that are also available for this date, right? So I will communicate that to you within the coming days. If if your guest or you need accommodations, contact our student disability services office, and they will make arrangements for you. So they are individuals that we work alongside with that will help make accommodations if there's any issues, okay, for you and your guests. All right. A lot of this information will be on the graduation website shortly after this is recorded. This will go up as well as a reference, and you can get to the graduation website. If you Google Lehman College 2025 graduation, it will come up and you'll see information.